What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for Sistas Season 1, Episode 3. So look, a couple of things. For some reason, I feel like I didn't finish last week's episode. I know I got cut off. But did we talk about Karen going to the grocery store and running into old boy and them getting into it and then him getting in the car with her to eat the ice cream? I don't know. I feel like I didn't talk about that. Thank you to all of my folks who looked out for me and let me know what happened in the last few minutes. Again, I don't know why it cut off last week, but it didn't cut off this week. Secondly, here's the thing about this show. Whether we want to admit it or not, a lot of us have gone through these same scenarios with our girlfriends, good, bad, or indifferent. We've had these conversations. We've been in these scenarios. We've had these situations. My problem is the acting is so bad that it's making a lot of these scenes just come off as unauthentic when they are really legit situations. For example, your homegirl sees the dude that you dating out with another female, and y'all have the whole party line call to figure out what we should or should not do. Like, that's realistic. It's happened. I would venture to guess that 95% of the women looking at this review right now have had that situation happen, whether they were on one end of that phone call or the other. I'm not sure if the dude I'm dating is really into me or into something. Like, anyway, let's just get into the review. So we start this episode off with Karen in the car talking to the dude she met in the grocery store, and they're eating their ice cream, and she's still snapping at him. He's trying to have a conversation with her, and she's just steadily snapping at him. And he gets to the point where he's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm good. And he gets out the car, and she ends up apologizing because she realizes she's being a real you-know-what. And she says, look, I apologize. I'm really not, this isn't really who I am. I'm just really going through it right now. I just found out that my man has been cheating on me. I really invested in this relationship. I know that's not your fault, but this is where I am. And he's like, you know what? I hear it. You going through. I'm going through. It is what it is. So, he accepts her apology and everything, but he keeps walking off. And she's like, so you're not going to ask me for my number or anything? And he was like, I'll be honest, I don't know if I want it. I said, oh! And he said, I don't know if I want it. But then when she gets in the car, he had a rose, which I'm assuming had his contact information on it, right? So I guess that's his way of saying, hey, I'm putting that ball in your court. Down to the airport, Andy is calling around. Not Andy. That's Ronnie. Karen, Ronnie, Andy. And I don't remember the other chick name. But she's calling saying, the chick that work at the bank. And she's like, look, I'm sitting here looking at Ronnie's man. And he up here with another woman. And they all bunned up. I'm about to go cuss his ass out. And they're trying to talk her off the ledge. They're like, no. So they end up calling Karen on the three-way. And Karen is like, you see who with what and what? She's like, no. Don't do it. Don't go over there and approach him. Don't say nothing to him. Because she knows that that's probably his wife. And Andy about to make an ass out of herself. So they end up calling Ronnie. They get Ronnie on the phone. And Ronnie was like, look, don't say anything too. Because she about to go in. Y'all know she crazy. She's about to go cuss him out. Now, mind you, she's having this whole conversation probably 10 feet from them in their face and nobody. Anyway, I'm going to let that go. So they have to tell her, look, that's his wife. So she like, hold up, and what? That's his what? Ronnie was like, she said, look, you meet me at my house in 30 minutes. We about to figure this out. So they all end up over Ronnie's house. So before Andy's house. So before Karen and Ronnie get there, the two of them are talking about, and she's basically judging her. She's like, I can't believe she's sleeping with a married man. And no girl had to remind Andy, like, pot meet kettle? Like, you had a relationship with a married man. She was like, look, I ain't know. She said, yeah, and when you found out, you kept dating him. So, like, don't judge. Don't throw them stones and living in a glass house. So then, Karen shows up, and they talk a little bit more about the whole married man situation or whatever. And, Andy is like, you knew, didn't you? And Karen's like, yeah, I knew. She was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all talk to each other and y'all don't tell me anything. And they be like, because you can't hold water in a bucket. And so, of course, she's acting fake indignant. But at the end of the day, she can't keep no damn secret. So Ronnie shows up and, they're basically talking to her about like, girl, what's going on? You dating this married man? What's good? And she was like, well, he's not going to be married for long. And they were like, yeah, right. That's the oldest line in the book. I can't believe you falling for it. That man is not leaving his wife. And she was like, I have it on good authority. And of course, she think that she know he about to get this divorce because she's the divorce attorney for his wife. And she's getting ready to tell him. And Karen is like, don't you tell nobody that. Like, that is very sensitive, could be disbarred type situation. You better keep that thing to yourself. So she ends up just telling them that she saw paperwork, that she was down at the court and she saw that he had filed paperwork for the divorce. And so, they're kind of giving her the side eye, but, because Andy was like, nah, that dude that I saw at the airport, that wasn't no dude that was about to get no divorce. That ain't what he looked like at all. But she basically tells them, look, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. He getting a divorce. It is what it is. Now, on the ride home, Andy and Karen, Ronnie and Karen are talking, and Ronnie is like, look, he's not going to leave his wife. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I'm going to break it off for real this time. I'm not dealing with him anymore. I'm really going to end it this time. And she gets back to the apartment, and Zack, his name's Zack. Zack shows up, honey. And of course, he show up like, I'm so sorry, I had to go out of town, but I'm back now. And she was like, So she basically is going off on him. And he's like, what is wrong with you? Like, where's all this coming from? He said, what did I miss? Like, I know I went out of town. It couldn't be avoided. My mother-in-law was sick. We had to go. It was last minute. It was a family emergency. Like, why are you tripping? And she was like, look, I'm not going to do this anymore. Like, it is over. I'm not going to keep playing this back and forth game with you. And so, finally, he said, and she did exactly what I was thinking. He said, look, you're the one I want to be with. It's all about you. And if you want me to, I will go home tonight. I will tell her it's over, and I will come back here with my stuff. And, of course, he was expecting her to be like, no, I know you need time to work it out. It's okay. She said, all right, do it. And as soon as she said do it, honey, he started coming up with all these excuses about why he couldn't do it. Well, my kids, they used to seeing me every day. And my son, he's autistic. And if, his schedule is thrown off, if it's between you and her, I pick you every time. But I just can't disrupt my family life. And Ronnie was like, all right, well, then get out. He said, well, and this man proceeds to get on one knee. And he just happens to have a ring with him. Like an engagement ring. He talking about something, will you marry me? And once again, she's saying what I'm thinking. She said, you're already married. But yeah, I'm going to take care of that. I'm getting ready to take care of that now. She said, get out. Get out. And she ends up having to scream at him for him to leave, honey. So now back over to Andy's apartment. Andy is talking to the old girl from the bank, and she's basically, because Calvin been calling her all day, honey, and she been avoiding him. So, CSI Andy is like, look, what's his Instagram name? And she said, I don't know his Instagram name. She said, look, first name, last name, and I'll have all the tea for you by the morning. In the meantime, she accidentally picks up a call from Calvin. How sometimes you want to hit decline, but you end up hitting accept. Now you on the phone with the person you ain't want to talk to. So she ends up trying to talk to him, and he's like asking her like, what's up? I've been texting you all day. Like, where you been? What's going on? And she was like, oh, well, I've been busy at the bank. It's the first of the month. He was like, it's the 6th. Well, it's just been a rough week. My girl is going through something. He said, look, I tell you what. I'm a grown ass man, and I don't even have time for these games. When you want to talk, you call me. And she was like, no, that's not it. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, you've been avoiding him all day. He done gave you your out. Your response was, okay, I'll talk to you later. But now you talking about some, no, I can handle, no. And he was like, no, for real. I'll talk to you later. And he hung up. She was like, did he just hang up? Yeah, he hung up on your ass because you tripping. So the next day at the bank, he comes into the bank to make a deposit. And instead of going to her line, he lets people go in front of him so he can go to old boy's line. His friend, her friend, the gay guy. So he goes to him and he's like, look, and of course now he flirting with him. Because she done told him that, he gay. And everybody keeps telling her, just ask him. Just ask him. But in my mind, I'm like, she already asked him. He said no. She's just not accepting his answer. I don't know how many, because I would be irritated if somebody keep asking me the same thing over and over again. Because he did ask her. So, she did ask him. So, he comes through the line and they get to talking. He was like, you don't know my name? I've been coming here for the last 6 months. He was like, you've been going to my homegirl line. You ain't been coming to my line. And he was like, well, you ain't got to worry about that no more. I won't be going to her no more. So then he says, well, what's your ID? Whatever. So when it's over with, like I said, he flirting with him. So he like, is there anything else I can do for you? And Calvin was like, you know what? What's your number? You want to get coffee sometime? Now, I immediately knew that he was trying to pick old boy's brain as to how he can get up with his girl. I never thought that he was that crass that he would invite the dude out right next to the woman that he swore up and down he wasn't gay. Like, I never bought that he was doing anything salacious. But of course, old boy automatically jumped to the conclusion that he hitting on me, he invited me out on a date, and he tells old girl about it. And she, of course, she's irritated and she's bothered by it, but she plays it off like, no, that's fine, it's cool. He was like, no, I don't want no issues, I don't want no problems, I know that's that y'all was trying to do a little something, so I don't want no issues. And she was like, no, you good, that's fine. You go ahead and go out with him. And he was like, are you sure? And she was like, no, you're good. So, they end up going, I'm just going to knock this thing out. They end up going out for lunch. Going out for coffee. And he tells them, Calvin says, look, I ain't bring you here for no date. Because, of course, dude is flirting and stuff. He said, I ain't bring you here for no date. He was like, I really am trying to figure out, like, I'm really feeling your homegirl. Like, what is it? What's she not feeling about me? Like, what is the problem? I thought everything was good. And then all of a sudden, it ain't popping off. Like, what's going on? And he was like, I don't really feel comfortable getting in the middle of y'all situation. And he said, because especially since I thought you were here, you invited me here, for a date. And he was like, nah. He was like, dude, I'm straight. Like, I'm not into men. I am straight. He said, but I don't have no problem with it. I have 2 dads. I was, my dads are gay. I was raised by 2 dads. And he was like, what? He said, excuse me? He said, yeah. He said, I was raised by a gay couple, so I have 2 fathers, and so I don't have an issue with being with the gay community. I'm just not gay. He was like, oh, really? He was like, tell me a little bit more about it. And so they end up having a conversation, just in general conversation, but not a date, because, again, he's trying to figure out how he can get in good with old girl. So when dude come back from his date, he tells her, he's like, look, he's really into you. Like, he is not. He ain't into me. He is into you, and he ain't gay. Now, she can do with that what she want to do with that. Back down to the airport. Child. This was a hot mess. What's old boy name? Karen's boyfriend. Yeah, I think he might be Zack. I've been calling everybody Zack, but y'all know who I'm talking about. He's carrying a group of white women who are on their way on vacation, and I identify them as white because it's important. On their way on vacation, and they're flirting, trying to get him to go with them on vacation. And they roll up to Andy's desk, and they being kind of nasty to Andy. Like, she was like, well, let me check you in. She was like, we're in first class, why don't you hurry up and get us checked in, blah blah blah. She was like, and why don't you find a seat for him, because they're trying to get him to go with them. And they were like, it's just gonna be the 3 of us all by ourselves. And y'all know Andy ain't here for it. Y'all know she ain't here for it. And so she ends up canceling their reservation so that they don't even have a flight, much less trying to get him onto a flight. So the third girl finally says, you know what, forget it, because we're not flying coach. I'll just call daddy and we'll just get his private jet. And I'm thinking to myself, you could get the private jet. What the hell you got a plane ticket for to begin with? Shit. And they're still trying to get old boy to go. And so they end up walking off, and he has a conversation with Andy. And Andy is like, are you crazy? Like, you really about to go ride off with these white women? Like, what is wrong with you? And he was like, look, your girl don't want me, so I'm going to live my best life. So then she was like, well, where are you staying anyway? He was like, don't worry about it, because if I tell you, you're going to run back and tell her. She was like, you're not staying with old girl, are you? Because remember, he got caught cheating to begin with. So she was like, you ain't staying with old girl. And he was like, don't worry about what I'm doing. Like, don't worry about what I'm doing. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It ain't your business. And he ends up rolling off with the white women now. I don't know if he went on vacation with them or not, but anyway. So last but not least, Ronnie goes to work the next day, and her boss rolls up on her. Her boss was like, so, did you get a good night's sleep last night? And she said, yeah. He said, so, I see you made a decision about your little conflict. And she was like, he said, yeah, because old girl is in the lobby. She said, she's what? He said, yeah, she's in the lobby. He said, didn't you call her in? She said, no. He said, okay, well, I'll tell you what, you go ahead, you take the meeting, you find out what you want, and then you come and see me. So Ronnie brings the woman back to her office, bring the wife back to her office, and basically the wife lets her know. She said, I want to thank you. And of course, Ronnie's like, what? Because Ronnie and Karen had a conversation about, is this all a setup? Like, does she really know who I am? And they just setting me up for the okie doke. Like, they talked about all of that. And so she's nervous the whole time because she's like, why is this woman back? What does she want? Did she find out about me? Whatever. So she says, I want to thank you. She said, coming in here the other day and just getting it all off my chest, I think it really helped me. She said, and, I've decided that I'm not going to leave him. I'm not going to get a divorce. I'm going to make this work. And, this morning he was begging for my forgiveness. He was crying in my arms. We had a great moment. And she said, well, what about the other woman? Ronnie said, what about the other woman? And she said, you know what? I don't even think there is another woman. I don't think he's cheating on me. So of course now Ronnie is looking like, okay. She said, but what kind of woman would that be anyway? She would just be a trifling, woman to sleep with a married man. Who would do that? And then I started thinking, she does know who Ronnie is. Because, why would you be talking like that? But anyway, she basically lets Ronnie know, look, I appreciate you, but I'm not going to need you because I'm not doing a divorce. She said, and look at what he got me last night. Honey, she holds her hand up and she got the damn ring on that he got on his knee to propose with Ronnie with. I said, this dirty dog. It was probably her ring all along, and he got desperate when he was with Ronnie, honey. So anyway, that's what it was. That's how it ended. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.